Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, matter of fact, I better take my hat off because I got to get to some business today. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good afternoon. We are live right here on the Ramon Preston Show in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we are rejoicing and we are glad in it. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. If you are coming on, joining me live on this beautiful, beautiful Thursday, January the 19th, 2023, I want you to hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly, everybody, and let them know your boy, my squad. We are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta, and you are watching the Ramon Preston Show. Put in the comments what city you're watching me from, by the way. I would love to know what city you're watching your boy from. All of you that continue to follow us, that continue to support us, engage with us, and even those of you that have made the decision to be a part of one of our business, financial, or even ministry programs, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the support, and I definitely appreciate those of you that partner with my company and give me and my team an opportunity to help you take your personal, your business, your ministry, your financial life to the next level. So again, today is Thursday, January the 19th, 2023. We are 19 days into the new year. My hope and expectation is that the year has been amazing for you so far. If for some reason it hadn't, guess what? We can hit the reset button today and we can do the doggone thing. Get you to moving to where you need to be. But for today, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. And if you don't know, now you know, I'm your host, Ramon Preston. And guess what? Every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon, right here from the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I show up here on the Ramon Preston Show live to give you the game, to show you how you can take your business, your ministry, your income streams, your wealth building dreams to the next level. And so I hope you want to go to the next level financially. If you're an entrepreneur, I hope you want to go to the next level in your business. I hope you're waking up every day trying to figure out, like, what do I need to do to get to the next level? Now, when I say get to the next level, I want you to understand something, because this is really about what we're going to be discussing today. When I talk about getting to the next level, going to the next level, when I talk about getting the bag, becoming financially free, I want you to understand that I'm really referring to you putting yourself in a financial position to, at minimum, become a millionaire. I want you to understand that, okay? So I'm not talking about you just having enough money to pay your bills. I ain't talking about you just being in a financial position where you can pay yourself from your business and take care of your family and go on a vacation or two. That ain't what I'm talking about. When I talk about the next level, when I talk about financial freedom, when I talk about getting the bag, when I'm talking about building a basis for wealth and really doing something extraordinary, I want you to understand that I'm talking about, at minimum, you putting yourself in a position to become a millionaire. And that's why today I want to talk to you about creating a basis for wealth building, creating a basis for wealth building, which, by the way, I should ask you the question, do you really want to be wealthy? Like, is wealth a part of your plan? Like, do you want to have like this indestructible wealth? Do you dream about being in a financial position that you can hire your family, take care of your family, travel the world, be a blessing to your church, change the landscape of your legacy, help your community, make an impact in the world? I mean, that's what I want. I want to be wealthy. I want to have such indestructible wealth that 10 generations from now, they still gonna be thanking me for what I did in my lifetime. That's what I want. So I don't know if that's where you are. Maybe you are at that place where you would like to be wealthy, or maybe you're just at a point where you just want to be able to pay your bills. You want to be able to just take care of your family and not be stressed and live paycheck to paycheck. But I'm telling you, if you want to create a life of wealth, If you want to ever even put yourself at play to become rich or to become a millionaire, you need a basis. You need a basis. You need a foundation. And so today I want to talk to you about how to create a basis for wealth building. But again, it starts with you being clear on what you want in life. You have to be clear that I want to be wealthy. I want to be filthy rich. Whatever you want to call it, it's still wealth. I want to be in a position that I can take care of my family and the next several generations. I want generational wealth. I want a legacy of wealth. I want financial freedom at the highest level. Whatever you want to use, whatever term, whatever phrase, if you say millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, zillionaire, gazillionaire, it's all about wealth, okay? And so you got to go ahead and make up in your mind that you want wealth and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get wealthy. See, every day I wake up, I don't care what it is that I have to go through. I'm not even impressed by the things that I accomplish because I'm on a journey. And that journey I'm on is a journey to get here. Because for me, wealth is a place that I want to get to. Wealth is a place that I'm traveling to. Wealth is a destination that I have a GPS, I have a navigation system, I have a blueprint that's showing me the steps and the processes that I need to take in order to get here. This is where I want to land. And so you got to start here. You got to start by at least making it clear that you want to be wealthy, okay? And maybe you need to say that to yourself. I want to be wealthy. I'm going to be wealthy. I'm in the process of moving towards wealth. You got to make that clear. You got to be clear on that, because if there's uncertainty, if there's some mental clutter, if you really hadn't done the math within your heart on what you're willing to go through to get to this place that you want to get to, then you ain't going to deal with the stuff that come up. Because I'm telling you, it's a lot of challenges you're going to have to face. But guess what? Becoming wealthy is hard, but being broke is hard. And as one person says, you just have to choose your hard. And so I've chosen the hard path of wealth, the hard path of wealth. I chose to put myself in a position to get to this place of wealth. And so today I want to talk to you about how do you create a basis for wealth. Well, again, once you make the decision that you want to be wealthy and that you believe you're going to be wealthy because you're willing to put in the work, you need to build a foundation. You need to create some type of basis. That's what a basis is. When you create a basis for wealth, what you're saying is, I need some type of foundation that I can stand on, so that whatever the ladder is that I have to climb in order to get to wealth, I'm willing to climb that ladder, but I at least have a basis. I have a basis. I have a foundation. This is how you create a basis for wealth, because you know where you want to go. You know the ultimate goal is to get here. For you, that could be $1 billion, that could be 10 billion, that could be 100 million, maybe it's 10 million. But I'm telling you, once you have that clear, that this is where you want to go, and you've done the math, you've counted up the costs. Like for me, my place of wealth is at least 1 billion. And again, I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I don't know all the details. I don't have all the answers, but at least I'm willing to go through whatever I need to go through. I'm willing to learn what I need to learn. I'm willing to face whatever the challenges are that I need to face. I'm putting myself at play every day, right? And that's what you have to do. But once that's done, all that mental stuff, all that emotional stuff, all that psychological stuff is done, now we need to build or create a basis or foundation for where you're going. Now, why is a basis important? Well, because when you start facing financial challenges, economic challenges, business challenges, career challenges. It could be health challenges, family challenges. You need to have some type of foundation or basis that you can stand on so that you don't fall off and you don't get yourself, like thrown so far away from this journey that you never find yourself back. And now for me, I don't know about you, but for me, the cement to creating a basis of building wealth, the cement, the grounds for this, for me, is biblical, because I believe wealth is biblical. I believe it is a biblical concept. Now, just because it's biblical don't mean it's inevitable. Okay? So wealth can be biblical, but wealth ain't inevitable just because it's biblical, because it's optional. I have to opt in to want that. I have to opt in to be willing to do what I need to do to get that. And once I opt in and say, you know what? I believe this is something that God wants me to have. I believe that this is something God wants me to achieve. I believe this is something that God wants me to pursue. And I believe that I have what it takes to go for it. And so now I just need a solid foundation. I need a basis that I can stand on, and I need to be willing to create that. And this is where the practicality of what you do every day plays the most important role. So I'm gonna give you my 4 foundations, okay? My 4 pillars that I have used, I have employed, and I deploy practically every day of my life for this basis of wealth building. Okay, I'm going to give you my 4, and you can use whatever you want to use, but I'm telling you, if you're going to be standing 10 toes down on a basis or a foundation that's ultimately the launching pad and the trampoline and the thing that can push you to the trajectory of becoming wealthy, it's got to be strong. It's got to be solid. And I'm telling you, if you're a believer, if you're a man or woman of faith, it is biblical, but it's optional. So just because you say, oh, God want me to have it, and I believe God showed me this, and God has given me a vision and a dream, and I believe God is with me, that ain't necessarily going to get you to the top, because everybody might have that. But a lot of people who have that don't have the practical side. So you have the biblical side. You got scriptures, you got a relationship with God, you got a God-given vision, a dream, you have a gift, you might be anointed and assigned, and it might be a mission for your life. It may be your calling to get wealthy. But I'm telling you, if you don't have the practical side that you can use as a basis, if you ain't got that practical side, you ain't gonna climb that ladder. Because again, if you hear, let me just show you again. If you hear and you want to climb this ladder, and there's a place of wealth, of financial freedom, a place of security, a place of generational legacy that you want to get to, and you do not have a basis, you don't have a foundation to stand on, first of all, you might not never even start the process of climbing that ladder. And secondly, even if you start climbing it, if there's no basis or foundation for you, then you don't have the sustainability to continue climbing up that ladder and having the strength to move through the challenges that are inevitable. And so, as I said, for me, wealth is biblical, but it is optional. So that means I have to opt in to accept that God wants me to have this. And God has given me the ability and the capacity to pursue it. And He's going to help me and assist me and anoint me and empower me and do all the things that I need Him to do for me in my process. But I also understand that the things that I have to do that are biblical, that are optional, are practical. So I need something to work with. Otherwise, you just going to be sitting around praying and shouting and speaking in tongues and quoting scriptures and telling people, oh, I know I'm going to be wealthy one day. I know God's going to do it for me one day. But there's no practicality to that process. Okay? So now let me give you my 4 pillars that I use as a basis for wealth building. Okay, I'm gonna give you my 4 pillars and I'll explain each 4, and hopefully you're watching today and you've already cleared it up in your mind that I want to be wealthy. I'm gonna be wealthy, and that means I'm wanting to and I'm going to go through the process that I need to go through to get to the top. And if I'm wanting to, and if I say I'm going to, then that means I'm wanting, I'm willing, I'm ready, and I'm positioning myself to take whatever practical tools I need to take. So that means you can't be listening to people like me and connecting with people like me and getting opportunities to get information, to get trained, to get educated, to get coached, to get mentored. And you just keep denying those opportunities because you think at some point God's going to drop this heavenly Brinks bag in your life and you're going to be to the top. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. I'm a preacher. I'm a man of God. I'm an apostle. I've been preaching and I've been a leader in ministry for a long time. And I'm telling you, most of the things that have happened have been a result of God working through me, not necessarily for me. So a lot of things that I've accomplished in life have come as a result of God working through me or with me, not necessarily for me. It's a difference. So that means he didn't give me the opportunity. I had to show up to the meeting. I had to actually show up to the event. I had to sign up. I had to pay. I had to drive there. Whatever the situation is, there were always practical things I had to do. And then as I did those practical things, God came and blessed those things that I was doing. It wasn't just me sitting home saying, Lord, I just need you to open the door. Okay, well, am I going to go open the door? Am I going to put the key in the door? Am I going to show up and do my due diligence when the door opens? Am I going to maintain a certain level of integrity when I get in the room? You see, it's a lot of practicality to this. So I want you to understand that, okay? So wealth building, let's just simplify it. Wealth building, we can say it's biblical. All right. So for all of you who are real believers and you love God and you believe in God and you quote scriptures and you go to church and you pay your tithes and you serve and you sow and you give and you help the community, please understand wealth is biblical. And if you don't believe God wants you wealthy, it don't mean you don't believe the Bible. It just means you don't believe that part of the Bible. It's just simple as that. It just means you don't accept that part of the Bible. There are always parts of the Bible people don't want to accept and people don't want to believe. That's your business. It ain't my business. I'm going to believe that part too. If I'm going to believe the heaven side, the hell side, the angel side, the demon side, the marriage side, the righteous side, the moral side, I'm going to believe that financial side over here too. And I'm going to pull that on in. So again, just for the purpose of communicating, wealth building is biblical, but wealth building is also what? Optional. So that means you have to opt in to accept it. So you can have 2 people who believe God, who love God, who have dreams and aspirations and ambitions and desires to do great things. One person can choose not to opt in. Someone else can choose to opt in. And so that means I'm accepting the option for biblical wealth building. And that means I'm putting myself at play to go through whatever the things I need to go through in order to make it happen, which is why wealth building is also practical. Okay. And I think personally, because I've been in ministry so long and I'm around a lot of people in ministry and I've led in ministry in business how I have, for me, it's been a high level so long. I can honestly say most of the people that I come into contact with when it comes to wealth building, they have some sense of acceptance when it comes to the biblical aspect of wealth building. They have some sense of acceptance when it comes to the optional aspect, meaning that, yeah, I want it. If you ask most people, do you want to be rich? Yeah, I want to be rich. Do you want to be wealthy? Yeah, I want to be wealthy. Do you want to have it all? Yes, I want it all. Okay, but are you willing to put certain things to practice? Well, you can't practice what you don't know. So that means now I've got to build a foundation. This is the basis of wealth building. And I'm going to give you my 4 pillars. These are my 4 pillars that I use as a basis for creating wealth. And so pillar number 1 is financial literacy. And I'm going to be hosting a VIP workshop this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Of course, I would love for you to join me. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is because, number 1, I want to invite you. But number 2, I'm going to be talking a lot about financial literacy, because financial literacy is one of the 4 pillars that I use to create a basis for wealth building. Okay, so I'm gonna give you all 4. Number 2 is entrepreneurship. And again, if you can get the knowledge of these things that I'm giving to you as pillars and start putting this knowledge to practice over long periods of time, consistently, daily, you're gonna see results. It's just simple as that. You're gonna see results, okay? So we have pillar number 1, financial literacy. Pillar number 2, entrepreneurship. Pillar number 3, business ownership. And pillar number 4, legacy. I'm gonna simplify it because I don't want to get deep. I'm gonna just put investing. I'm gonna just simplify it. I know this stuff by heart, so that's why I can change words, you know, like on the dime, because I know this stuff by heart. And you should learn these things and know them by heart. I always tell my mentees and people that I work with, if you have access to all the information that I'm giving you, and you know this information is what I have learned, I've studied, I've created, and then I've disseminated to you, you should try to understand it like I understand it. Because once you start understanding it like I understanding it, what is the worst can happen? The worst can happen is you get where I am. Well, that's better than where you might be. So it's worth the try. Okay. So again, how to create a basis for wealth building. If you want to be wealthy, you know this is the end goal, and you understand and believe that it's biblical, it's optional, you opt in, you're willing to go through the process, and you know it's practical. These are the 4 pillars that you have to stand on or build or create a basis or a foundation. Because remember, this is what you're going to stand on. As I showed you in that other diagram that I painted and created. Like, let me just show you again. So if this is you right here, and wealth is here, okay, and there are ladders, there are stairs that you're going to have to climb to get to wealth. And there's a dollar amount that you've already quantified. You know where you want to go. Billionaire, hectomillionaire, decamillionaire, millionaire, wherever that number is that you've quantified as wealth. And this is you here at the bottom of that. You need a basis. So just to make it easy so you can understand, let's say if you had four pillars that were under your basis or your foundation to create this wealth, those 4 pillars would be right here: financial literacy, entrepreneurship, business ownership, and investing. So if you're understanding me so far, I want you to put in the comments, you understand all 4 pillars. Let me know you understand where I'm at this point. Because you got to understand this stuff the way I understand it. I know I can kind of rant and just go and go and go, but I try to drop in sometimes and make sure that you're tracking me on this, because again, I want you to get here, whatever that dollar amount is. But if you're here and you want to get there, and there are steps on a ladder that you have to climb, your foundation is going to be critical. See, some people want to get there, but they ain't even started the process of climbing the ladder because they ain't got nowhere to put the ladder. It ain't no foundation. You get what I'm saying? There needs to be a basis here. There needs to be a foundation. So if you ain't got nowhere to put this ladder you want to climb to get to wealth, you ain't got nowhere to put that ladder. Where you gonna put the ladder? That ladder you want to climb, that ladder could be, okay, I have dreams, I got desires, I got aspirations and ambitions. I want to get to the top. I know I have a great idea for a business. I know I should be a millionaire. All that stuff needs a basis though. Because all that ooey gooey stuff that's sitting in your head don't mean nothing if you ain't putting it to practice every day. Believe that. So again, let's go back to the 4 pillars. Financial literacy. So what is financial literacy? I'm going to simplify this. Financial literacy is knowing how money is made, managed, and multiplied. So I always tell people, you can't be financially literate if you do not know how money is made, managed, and multiplied. This is a knowing. This is an understanding. This is a series of educational and practical steps that you have to take to start getting real good at making, managing, and multiplying money. Now again, there's a lot of meat in those three components of financial literacy, but I'm just simplifying it. So financial literacy is about you knowing how money is made, how money is managed, how money is multiplied. So when I say knowing how money is made, I'm talking about you learning how to convert things into cash. So it's a process that you gotta educate yourself on, you gotta train, and you gotta get better at knowing how to turn things into cash, converting things into cash. So for example, if you have an idea, how do you turn that idea into money? If you have a relationship, can you turn that relationship into money? If you have networks, if you have physical or digital, tangible or intangible goods and services, how do you convert them into cash? And then there are a series of components under that. Just making money, okay? Converting things into cash. Well, if you unpack making money, so let me give you an example of what I mean, because it's so much information. I just want to show you this is the process. So for example, you have financial literacy, right? I just want to show you how this works. You have financial literacy. Okay, and then the 3 aspects of financial literacy is making, managing, and multiplying money, right? So if you just took this one component of making money, now you have to unpack that. Because you don't just learn what I'm telling you and think, oh, I'm financially literate. Because that's what some people do. Some people go to my courses and they watch my videos and they say, oh, I know what financial literacy is. What is it? Financial literacy is knowing how money is made, managed, and multiplied. Ta-da! And they think they're financially literate. No. You're not financially literate. You're just informed on what financial literacy is. But in order to become financially literate, you have to learn how to convert things into cash. So that means, watch this, you may have to learn more about, let's say, product development. You may have to learn more about marketing, conversions. You may have to learn more about sales processes. So if you see all of a sudden just this one component of making money that's under the banner of financial literacy, it requires you take time to educate yourself about, okay, product development. This means I have to learn how to make better offers. I have to test the market to see if my products and services even get attention. That's another thing about marketing. It's attention, it's promotion, it's about branding, it's about making conversions. Am I converting people into my ecosystem? Do I know how to sell my products and services? Do I know how to package them right? Do I know how to price them right? See, this is why I try to break down all the details of these principles and concepts, because when somebody says, oh, I know about financial literacy, what do you know about it? I know financial literacy is you knowing how money is made, managed, and multiplied. Okay, how do you make money? Well, you got to know how to convert things into cash. You got to know how to sell. You have to learn to become better at sales and marketing and getting attention and promoting and developing products and having offers that are worthy of people purchasing. You have to, everything has a world of things in it. This is what I'm saying. So you have to be, again, you have to be committed. This is a good point I want to make right here. You have to be, this is why you have to be committed to the climb. You got to be committed. That's a good point. You got to be committed to the climb. You got to get committed and be committed to the climb. See, I'm committed to the climb. So that means if it's financial literacy on this one pillar, I got to unpack all the things about financial literacy until I get good at converting things into cash. Until I get good at now I got to get to managing money. Once I start making it, I got to learn how to manage it. So now I have to learn about tracking my income and expenses. I might have to learn about technology platforms like financial management systems. I have to learn about tax strategies, forecasting. See, each one of these things has so much in it. You can't tell me you're going to watch one course and you're going to figure it out. It don't work like that. I'm up here talking about this stuff like, I'm up here talking about this stuff like, you know, it's just a regular conversation, but what you don't see is what I've been doing for the last 21, 22 years. You don't see the process that I've had to go through just within the last 20 years since my wife and I have been married and been full-time entrepreneurs, what we've had to go through and what I've had to learn and how I had to develop and use these principles and concepts and make them make sense and figure out which ones work for me and which ones don't, which ones get results, which ones don't. So it's a commitment to the climb, but the climb is really getting in an ecosystem, getting access to education and information and training, being held accountable, putting into practice over long periods of time until you start seeing what's working. Okay? So pillar number one, financial literacy. Pillar number two is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, and I'm going to simplify each one of these, is simply knowing how to make exchanges in the marketplace. Knowing how to make exchanges in the marketplace. So when I hear people say I'm an entrepreneur, but they're not on social media. I'm an entrepreneur, but they don't offer valuable content. I'm an entrepreneur, but they don't give away all the things that they know. I'm an entrepreneur, but they don't contribute to other people's success. What type of entrepreneur are you? Entrepreneurs are people who know how to make exchanges. That means if I have something that I know works, like for example, what I'm doing right now on this show is a form of entrepreneurship. This is like the meat of entrepreneurship. This is like the very definition and living example of entrepreneurship. Why? Because I'm making exchanges. So I'm making exchanges for two things. For a profit, but I'm not making money off of this, am I? I mean, I might be monetizing YouTube. YouTube might pay me, or Facebook or Instagram might pay me, but they paying like pennies pennies on the dollar. You know, they pay you for certain views, but I'm talking about making real money, okay? Just because I'm sharing this information with you and I'm educating you about things that can change the trajectory of your life and your legacy, it doesn't mean you're paying me to say this. You're not paying me, but here it is. When I make exchanges, I'm either making exchanges for a profit or for a purpose that leads to a profit. So as an entrepreneur, I understand this and I'm able to engage in this thing called entrepreneurship, because for me, entrepreneurship is not starting a new business. Entrepreneurship is not trying to go find a good investment. Entrepreneurship is really making exchanges in the marketplace. Well, I can't make no doggone exchange if I'm not showing up. And if I'm showing up, I need to show up with something that's substance enough to keep your attention, because you're paying for what I'm sharing with you right now, with your eyes and with your ears, with your brain, with your time. So you're paying for it and you're helping me fulfill my purpose. You get what I'm saying? This is entrepreneurship. So you have to learn how to get better at making exchanges. A lot of entrepreneurs, they have so many walls and barriers up that nobody ever gets a chance to build a relationship with them. Almost everybody, like literally almost 100% of people that I do business with, they either tell me that somebody told them about me or they saw me somewhere on social media. Do you understand how powerful that is? Almost 100% of the people that I do business with, okay, they are either telling me they found me on social media, which is most of the time. They found me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I was speaking somewhere and they saw me or heard me, or someone that they knew told me about them. That's like the most common way people do business with me. So what does that mean? That means entrepreneurship is working because I'm making exchanges. Most of my exchanges are not for a profit. Most of my exchanges are for a purpose. You have to accept the fact that maybe 90% of your exchanges, you might get to a point to where 80% of your exchanges generate a profit. Generate 20% of your exchanges generate a profit and 80% are for a purpose. Most of the times, it may be 90% of the exchanges you make ain't even for a profit. It's just for a purpose. You're just serving a purpose to contribute to other people, to inform them, to enlighten them, to help them become aware, to educate them, to inspire them, to impact them, to effect positively what they're doing. And then that 10% is where you probably make most of your money to keep your business going, to build wealth, and to do the things that you desire to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you are trying to knock it out of the park every time you make an exchange because you want a deal, you're missing so much money. You're losing so much money. You're leaving so much money on the table. You have no idea. And I know it sounds weird to say it, but you are. You're missing golden opportunities. So that's what entrepreneurship. Business ownership is really about you knowing how to manage, and I'm using the word manage like loosely, but I'm using the word manage to get a point across. Business ownership is about knowing how to manage systems, processes, and you can even add people and products in there too, if you wanted to, because it includes all of that. But most importantly, you got to have systems and processes. I keep telling people, if you want people, the easiest way to attract people and keep people over long periods of time is to have your stuff together. Like, have your stuff together. I'm not saying people ain't gonna come and go, but what I'm saying is you're probably gonna find and attract some really good people over time when you have systems and processes in place. That means you got your business in order. You got things in place so that when stuff comes up, you don't have to necessarily repeat it because you've documented that, you've developed something around it, and it's easy to be duplicated. This is a very strainful process. It's like real hard to do, but once you get in the habit of doing it, you're going to find yourself always documenting information. You're going to find yourself always developing something around what you documented. And you're going to find yourself always trying to figure out what is the best way this thing that I documented and developed can be duplicated. Okay? So that's very, very important. So business ownership ain't got nothing to do with you having an EIN number. It don't. Ain't got nothing to do with it. I know people that got 20 EIN numbers and they not making no money. I know people that got 3, 4, 501c3s making no money. I know people who got trademarks, domain names, bank accounts, Duns and Bradstreet accounts, NAV accounts. They got Uline accounts. They got all this stuff. And guess what? They ain't got no business because they're not making any money. They're not making exchanges in the marketplace. They do not know how to convert things into cash. They're not financially literate. They don't delay gratification. They don't know how to manage money. They don't know anything about systems and processes. So essentially, they're not running a business. They're just maintaining a good idea on paper. That's what they're really doing. Okay? That's what they're really doing. They're maintaining a good idea on paper. So we have financial literacy, entrepreneurship, business ownership, and then we have investing. Investing is really about you knowing how to maximize. I'm going to give you this and I'm going to go. Here's the good thing about everything I'm giving to you. All of it is in my programs. I love when I have students and mentees that tell me, oh, I found this in your Millionaire Blueprint. I didn't even know this was here. Or I went back on and I saw this and saw that and I didn't even know it was here. I'm telling you, everything that I'm sharing with you right here is in my Millionaire Blueprint, period. So investing is about maximizing, I'm going to make it easy. The 3 V's. Investing is about maximizing the 3 V's: vehicles, verticals, and velocity. All right? Vehicles, verticals, and velocity. And as I said, all of this information I have in my programs. If you don't have access to this kind of information, you probably just dragging along. You really just beating yourself against the wall because you probably can't find the momentum. You can't find the sweet spot. You're having trouble. And you think it's going to cost you more paying for this stuff when it's costing you more not having it. You're paying way more not having this stuff than you are having it. Trust me, you are. So investing is about maximizing the 3 V's. Vehicles, you got to make sure you're in the right vehicle. That means you might not need to be in a business. Maybe you need to work for a business owner for a season. You need to switch vehicles. Maybe you're on a job and you can make more money doing business. Maybe you're an independent contractor and you need to convert that over into a business. But maybe you're a business owner and you're just not really in the right vehicle of what you're doing. So maybe your products and services suck and you need to find better products and services that you use, that somebody else has, or you own because you're going to redo them, okay? But then the vertical is, what area of the market do I need to be in? Is there a certain demographic of people I need to reach? Is there a certain status of people I need to be reaching? Is it virtual that I need to pivot into? Like, I've done all this stuff. There was a time that all of my classes that I taught were all in person. All in person. And I got to a point to where I realized I was losing more business and opportunities because I was only in person. So I had to shift into a new vertical. And to some extent, I found new vehicles, but I had to shift into a new vertical as well. And there was a time that most of the people that I was doing business with were people that was just in the church. You know, or maybe some people that I knew personally because I wasn't exposed to other verticals. So I had to work on those V's. And then velocity is about you finding vehicles and verticals that move you quickest to your next place on this ladder. So there's a certain vehicle and vertical you get into that has velocity that moves you up that ladder as quick as you possibly can. Because all this stuff people are telling you, oh, well, when you retire, you're at 60 something and blah, blah, blah. Ain't none of that stuff gonna work for you. It's a bunch of baloney. That stuff does not work for most people. And the few people it works for, it only works for them until it don't. And they find themselves 60, 70 years old trying to figure out, how can I find another job to support a lifestyle that my job or my working years supported, but not my after work years support. So we got to figure this stuff out now. So I hope I gave you enough information to understand how you create a basis for wealth building. And it's going to be central to financial literacy, entrepreneurship, business ownership, and investing. But not just you accepting that it's biblical or it's a part of your God-given assignment. That's cool, but that don't mean too much. And it's not just you accepting that it's optional, but you have to opt in. It's something you got to opt into. Like, you got to go ahead and just go. Like, it's like you got to be at the edge of a cliff, and you got to say, you know what? I'm going to get wealthy and jump off. And you ain't coming back. You're not going to make sense of broke. You ain't going to make sense of 100 grand a year. You ain't making sense of 300 grand. You like, wealthy. I'm jumping off the cliff. And when you do that, you got to make sure that there's some practicality to you jumping off that cliff, because you need a basis. You need something to stand on. This is why education and training and coaching and mentorship should be a lifestyle. It shouldn't be a program you join. It's like, I understand it because I'm a coach and I'm a mentor and I'm an educator. So I have to have programs for people. I have to give them a year of this and a year of that. But I'm telling you, it should be a lifestyle. It should be something you do every day for the rest of your life. And if you find the right people and align with them, you go where they go. It's like y'all, it's a rest of my life style of practice that I'm gonna adopt and I'm gonna live by every day. Okay, so I hope that you got some value out of this. For those of you who need access, if you do not have access to these courses or content and information like this, all you have to do is reach out to me. We're offering our Millionaire Blueprint. This is our signature business and financial wealth building system for as low as $99 a month. For as low as $99 a month. We're offering our Millionaire Mentorship for as low as $169 a month. If you have any questions, if you would like to get more information on how you can get instant access to our online courses, or maybe allow me to coach you and mentor you for 1 year at least, just text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. I appreciate everybody that joined the live today. Please put in the comments, what is like one big takeaway from today? Like, among all the things that I share, because you know I share a lot of information, but what is like the big takeaway that you got from today's show? What is the big takeaway? Oh, and while you're putting your takeaway in, just to let you know, I'm hosting a financial workshop this Saturday. It's going to be a one-day event. I'll be doing a lot of deep diving into principles and concepts for financial literacy, accounting, bookkeeping, QuickBooks, creative tax strategies. We're going to be doing a lot of deep diving into balance sheets, cash flow. I'm going to be sharing a lot of great strategies with you this Saturday. Here's the good part about it. If you are a part of my Millionaire Mentorship program, you get free access to all of my workshops. So we host 4 workshops a year, and they all come with my Millionaire Mentorship program. Like, I want to help as many people as I can. I have a goal to have 10,000 people on my Millionaire Blueprint. But within the last couple weeks, right, I've been doing a lot of research, and following what the World Bank is saying, what a lot of global economists are saying. And once I ran across some information that just came out in the news that the number of millionaires is going to double in the next 3 years. So it's 22 million millionaires that exist in the United States now. And that number is going to double in 3 years. By January 2026, 3 years from now, we should have double the amount of millionaires. I was like, oh my God, I have a millionaire blueprint. I have a millionaire mentorship program. I want to help a lot of these new 22 million people become millionaires. And I want you to be one of those. I think you are, but are you educating yourself? Are you putting yourself in an ecosystem, in a position to get there? Are you practicing this with daily habits because you got the right data? If you're not, I need you to reach out to me. Text the word millionaire. So give me some takeaways. Let me know what your biggest takeaways were. Let's see here. Sherrill said, must be committed to the climb. That's right. You must be committed to the climb. J.K. Forbes, he said, you be giving away some serious free game. I know, man. I give it all away because it's in me. Like, I don't even need I don't have a teleprompter at all, but it's there, man. It works. I rework it every day. I tweak it. I develop more. I create more content. And I just love, this is my calling. I know what my calling is. Jaquez says, thank you. Thank you for watching, Jaquez. Rubino, good to see you on here. He says, sharing 90% free, 10% for profit. I'm telling you, that strategy works. Trust me, that strategy works. Think about it. If you have a $10 million business, if you have a $10 million business, 90% of that $10 million business probably didn't even show up because you gave away so much information. But that $10 million business can make up 10%, can be made up of 10% of the information that you gave that resulted in people coming back doing business with you. And that could be in perpetuity. So I don't want you to underestimate that. But thank you, Rubino, for sharing that. 90% free, 10% for profit. So I appreciate all of you. Again, if you have any questions or if there's any information we can get to you that you need from us, just text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. We have some extraordinary offers. We've restructured our pricing on our 2 signature programs because we want to get as many people as we can on these programs, getting this education, training, being in a community so that you can be one of those 22 million people that will become millionaires in the next 3 years. It's going to be amazing. I don't care what it looks like on the outside. It looks like it's a recession. It looks like it's a downturn. It looks like the GDP is changing and shifting and it's not going to hit its anticipated projections. So what? We finna get that bag. We finna get wealthy. And guess what? This is what we finna do. We finna. We finna climb that ladder because we have a solid basis and a foundation for building wealth. We've created it, we've solidified it, and we're gonna get to the top. So you wanna get to the top, I wanna help you get to the top. I have the information, I have the principles, I have the concepts, I have them packaged in a way that it's easy for you to learn, easy for you to put to practice, easy for you to stay accountable because you have a mentor, me, you have other people in our community that can support you along the way. So I look forward to hearing from you today. Text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. Love you. Appreciate you. We'll be back here tomorrow. Same place, same time, 12 o'clock noon Eastern, right here on the Ramon Preston Show. Peace. I'll see you tomorrow.